What's up guys, it's Creepy here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my first ever tutorial, and it's going to be on how to make basic 3D text in Cinema 4D. I've gotten a number of requests from friends and people I know on how to do it, so I thought I'd show everybody. So let's get started and open up Cinema 4D. You're going to have your grid, and the first thing we're going to want to do is click on MoGraph, Text, MoText. May also say text object depending on whatever version you have. And we can make our text whatever we want. And by clicking on font, you can edit your font. Place ethnocentric, I like this font. And if it's off the page, you can just use your red tool right here and just slide it back. Now we're going to hold down 3, click on our grid, and still while holding down your control, we're going to move our mouse around so we can get a different angle on the text. And now we're going to increase the depth, and basically what depth is how thick or thin your text may be. So for this font, I usually bring it all the way up to about 160. And depending on what font you have, it might change, but you're usually still going to get the same effect when it's all said and done. We're going to create a duplicate of this layer by clicking Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste. Now what that's going to do is going to create a duplicate of our original, and it's going to be labeled MoText1. And for that, we're going to drop the depth down, not too much, maybe down to like 100. Like I said before, depending on the font, your depth might change. And we're going to slide that duplicate into the middle of our original, so that we have the same amount from here to here as we do here to here. Now we click on caps, start cap, fill cap, end cap, fill cap. My bad guys, let me just appear offline on Skype. And basically what that does is it gives it a chipped off effect so that it's actually in 3D now. Now we can add some color by clicking on File, New Material, double clicking on it, and making our color whatever we want. If you don't like playing around with these arrows, you can always click on the box, use this tool, and find a nice color that you want, whatever you like. Now I'm going to check off reflection, click on texture, and Fresnel. And I'm going to drop my brightness down to about 27, because that's what I usually do for this. But it's not something that you have to do. It's basically whatever you like, whatever you think is going to make your text look best. But it's not something that's going to make a huge difference in the end. So now we have our first material done. Let's do another one by clicking on File, New Material, double clicking on it. And since we did reflection on the first one, we're going to have to double click on color to change it. And we'll do turquoise. I like that color. And just like before, check off reflection, texture. For now, drop our brightness to about 27, and our strength, I usually have it at 25. X out of that, and we can drag. Now, in order to put it on the colors, we just click on it and drag it to our text objects. You're never really stuck with what you have. You can always change it if you want it in like a different order. Yeah, like that. And you can see that it reflects the other color. So now what I wanted to show you was how the color can change depending on the angle that you have. Now, if you want it on an angle like this, it's perfectly fine. But if you want to make it straight, it's like you're putting it on a YouTube background or something, or a logo, your color might fade when you make it straight. It goes from a nice vibrant blue to a faded blue. And if you don't like that, Here's what we do to fix it. Make it straight and select these little 4 arrows up here. That's a light. Now that creates a light, and we can center it up, raise it up. Oh wow. And we can bring it back a little bit. Now what that does, it makes the text a little darker instead of just faded, because not as much light's hitting it from the entire grid as it is with just a single light. So now you can see that you have a nice, regular, vibrant blue. Now we're going to render it out. But first we have to click on Render, Render Settings, click on Output, and I usually save my stuff as the size that I would make for YouTube background text, which is 1280 by 720, and making our film aspect HDTV. Just throwing it out there, YouTube logo, you want your width and height 400 by 400, and desktop backgrounds can vary based on your screen resolution. Mine's 1366 by 768, and it's usually always in pixels. So now we're going to click on Save Alpha Channel, check that off. And this is very important. You want your format as a PNG. May also say QuickTime PNG, but they're usually the same thing. Just make sure it's PNG and not PSD or TIFF. So now in order to actually save it, we click on these little 3 dots right here, and we can save it as top for a tutorial, and just save it. Now we render it out by pressing the middle render button. And when you render it out, it's not going to have a black background. It actually has no background. That's just what Cinema 4D shows. So when we open up whatever we saved it to, there's your text. It has no background. And you can see when we open it up in a different program, like Photoshop, we'll open it up here. It has no background, it's just a checkerboard background, and when it's checkerboard it means that there's nothing behind it. So to show you that you can put stuff behind that, you can just create a new layer, and you can put anything you want behind it. Just proving that there's nothing behind the text and that your text is your only object. Here's a desktop background that I made. So that is basically the end of the tutorial, and there will be another one out soon on how to make a YouTube background, and a lot more in the future based on different things that I have learned or I'm getting requests on how to show. So thanks for watching. I hope I helped you out, and I'll see you next time. Later.